welcome to this episode of Pop Culture Problems. Josh, why don't you tell everybody what they've won?
They've won 30 minutes of shenanigans.
Shenanigans? Wow.
Tell me more. I sometimes I don't know how we're going to start the episode. You know, and I think that led in very well, but I'm surprised you chose that. Like, if I had introed it, I was going to go with this is Pop Culture Problem. Da-na-na, ba-na-na. You know, like some sort of a theme song. But I like your style, you know, because a lot of game shows are about the prize. That's the
Come
point.
on down! I just blew out the microphone!
I'm not editing that. Here's the thing. Trivia. Who was the individual that said, come on down and the price is right?
The original individual? I'm not sure.
Well, the original individual was on the show for years. I don't know if he was the original. I think he was the original. Roddy.
Really? Okay. Yes.
Roddy. And he always
I remember listening to Rod growing up.
He always had the really flashy coats and like sequin stuff. And it was just like, amazing. Like he had the best stuff. Now, he wasn't the original. He started, I think, in the 80s. So there was a guy that did it first, and then he was in the 80s and kind of did it. I don't know who's doing it now, because I know like
Drew Carey's
the host, but he's not the person. So I don't know who come after. Who came after?
Who come after?
Roddy? Who come after the Roddy? I don't know, but Roddy was. I remember him when I was a kid. I thought he's great. I gotta be him. So
that was your goal in life, was to be him, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I wanted to be him. So game shows. We're talking about game shows. I want to talk about favorite game shows. I want to talk about stupid game shows. I want to talk about epic game shows. I want to talk about every game show ever made. But
wow, this is gonna be a long episode.
Oh no, it's gonna be a very short episode, but it's gonna be low quality because we're just gonna literally read a list of every game show as fast as we can, Micro Machines level.
In alphabetical order.
And then we're going to...
Every show that's ever aired on Game Show Network.
Absolutely. Game Show Network, that's a testament to the validity of people's love for game shows. The fact that it would make an entire network to re-air game shows. And re-aired game shows are interesting because some people will re-watch the same episodes, like because they have a following.
An affinity,
remember when this happened. Remember when that happened.
Yeah. Ken Jennings on Jeopardy, his run for like how long was he a winner on Jeopardy for?
Oh, I don't know. 100,
it was like a month or two.
Weeks?
Yeah,
something like that.
Long time.
It was huge.
He was the first $1 million winner, correct?
Maybe.
I think that was the big deal. Was like he was on long enough to win $1 million.
That's possible. I mean, he was on forever, but then I think there was something about it where he did he come on again and then lost or something? I don't know. $2.5 million is what he won.
Jeez.
He played for 74 games. 74 consecutive games in a row. I mean, because this aired once a week, did it? I mean, Jeopardy?
No, it's once a day.
Is it once a day?
Yeah, it's once a day. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like Wheel of Fortune.
Really?
Wheel of
But is it 5 days a week? It's not 7 days a week.
I think it's 5 days a week, yeah.
Okay,
Weekdays.
So 5 days a week. And I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. That's incredible. I think game shows are so interesting because I'm always surprised that they're still on, because I would love to be on a game show, but I've never even looked into what it would take to, apply and those types of things and being in the area. But people do this in droves.
There's actually a girl that I know that was on Wheel of Fortune. And that was actually pretty cool.
Really?
I didn't watch the episode, but I know she was on it.
Did she win a lot?
I didn't watch the episode.
You are a jerk. You don't care about your friends or
I didn't say she was my friend. I just said a girl I knew.
Peer group.
Okay.
You do not care about your random acquaintances.
I am an empty person.
You're an empty person inside. I'm going to throw out a game show. We can talk about it. Then you can throw out a game show. We'll just go back and forth.
All right.
Supermarket Sweep.
Oh. Wait, no, was that on Lifetime originally?
I think it might.
I think the Origin network was Lifetime.
I think so.
I have to say, Supermarket Sweep, the least predictable show that's ever been on Lifetime.
Really? How so?
Well, because every show on Lifetime, like the movies,
okay, I see what you mean.
They're fairly formulaic, but Supermarket Sweep, formulaic, but you never knew what was going to happen.
Oh yeah, and they switched it up. Like I remember they had those giant like inflatables, like that if you picked it up, you'd get an extra $50 or whatever. But they weren't on every episode.
Yeah, and you know, Supermarket Sweep was, it was like flamingos and stuff, right?
Yeah,
like
it was
but
it was like random episodes.
Yeah,
It's like, well, this episode we're gonna have this, and it was totally new
on the opposite end of the grocery store. But the great thing about Supermarket Sweep, and I think when you have those game shows that are so popular, it's because it's one of those things that everybody thinks that they would be good at. Like I remember being a kid and thinking I could clean up on Supermarket Sweep.
I was more than any game show. Like I could watch Jeopardy and be like, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Supermarket Sweep, total backseat cart driver. I knew exactly. I was like, what are you doing going for laundry detergent? Get to the cheese aisle. Cheese is expensive. And you got this like lady who's, walking at a moderate pace.
Yeah.
And thinking, I think I might do laundry next week. If I won, it would be nice to... No! Run.
Get the most expensive stuff and you can open your own supermarket or cheese store.
You can sell the stuff, or hey, here's the thing. The money you saved on all the meat that you just bought, you can use to buy the soap. Uh-huh. But they're like walking and they're considering and they're taking them one at a time. Do you realize that thing that's really... long that's attached to your hand is an arm, stupid? Use it to sweep the items off the shelf in a show called Supermarket Sweep.
Absolutely.
The aptly named action they never use. They're like, one at a time, I'll put this can in the cart.
As far as I know, they're not still making new episodes of Supermarket Sweep.
Not that I know of.
But have you seen Guy's grocery games on Food Network?
No, I have not.
Guy Fieri has it's kind of like Supermarket Sweep, but it's not because there's like a cooking element to it, where like you have to like find these ingredients or make this. You have to make a dish, but then you have to use this ingredient. So like you have they go around but anyway, as close as I can get to new episodes of Supermarket Sweep, because if Supermarket Sweep was still on, they were still making new episodes, I would watch that.
Oh yeah,
I'd make a point to watch it.
Oh yeah, because it was fun, and I think that certain shows they resonate. They with
transcend
the culture.
Time.
I don't know if I go that far, but I mean they resonate with culture. And I remember I still love, but the show Married with Children, Al Bundy and stuff. And there was an episode that was reminiscent of Supermarket Sweep, and I remember Al Bundy designing his cart, and he put like blades on the side to pop the tires of the other cart, and like all this like really ridiculous stuff with like oil spill stuff. It was kind of like a James Bond cart, and it was just so funny.
Doesn't that episode end with him like carrying a turkey like a football?
Yeah, and he tries to get over the line, and at the very end, Peg comes through, and she basically impales him with the knives on the front of the cart.
Yeah, okay.
And
yes,
something he would have likely died from. But in the magic of TV, he lives, and I think maybe he drank water and even water squirted. It was one of those very cartoony elements of the show. But I might be remembering it wrong as well. Maybe he died. Maybe the show ended that episode. I don't know.
That was the final episode with the death of Al.
That's that show, and I don't want to get off too much. But that was one of those shows I felt so terrible for the cast because literally Ed O'Neill found out the show was canceled by reading it in the newspaper.
Oh, that's awful.
He was on vacation or, off for the season and read, Married with Children not returning. Like, how terrible is that?
Where's
the respect for your employees?
An episode of Married with Children I would have loved to have seen?
What?
One where the Bundys participated on Family Feud.
Oh, that would have been really good. Did that not happen? Well, and that was my point with talking about the Supermarket Sweep-ish episode. Yeah. When a show appears on another show.
Yeah. On
Cheers and Jeopardy. Yes. I mean, that was like a iconic episode, and it not only speaks to the
Cliff dominates. Yeah. And then he bets all of his money. and he should have just bet like $100 because he was so far ahead of. I mean, it was like 15,000 or something like that, and everybody else had like $200 or $300, and he just dominated.
What the last question was that he lost on? Like, because he knows everything,
Yeah, I mean, it was a question that was hard. I actually just watched this episode a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in a cheers hole right now.
Okay.
But it was a hard question that he just bet way too much.
Oh, okay.
And Alex Trebek is like, Cliff, why would you do that?
You idiot! Why would you ever? Also, I think there's some kind of into era elements of game shows. Bob Barker leaving The Price is Right.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you keep the show going without, because it becomes so iconic. Rod Roddy and some of those things.
Yeah.
And, Alex Trebek is leaving Jeopardy. And so
you basically have to end the show, I think, in that case. I mean, Drew Carey stepped in. He's done a decent job replacing Bob Barker. But, like, Alex Trebek is Jeopardy. Pat Sajak is Wheel of Fortune. Vanna White. Could you replace Vanna White?
But do you really end the show? Because, I mean, for a new generation, they don't necessarily care or have the same affinity for the people that we do because they didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, and if it's a good game, if it's a good game show, then I can see that.
So it's almost like you stop watching it and letting a new generation enjoy it, you selfish, selfish man. Can't you do something for the youth of our world? You have a daughter now. Can't you let her enjoy the new Jeopardy?
Who do you think should be the new Jeopardy host?
The new
Does it have to be like does it have to be like a unknown?
No. I don't think it should be an unknown. I can only think of one person to fill in on that show. Can you take it? Who would you have fill in? I'm going to tell you my answer.
On Jeopardy?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You have no idea who would be a good... The
Will Ferrell?
No. John Ratzenberger.
Oh, yeah. Well, but like he's close to retirement age too.
No, but here's...
If Alex Trebek is stepping... I mean, he's got to be older than Alex Trebek.
But here's the thing. Alex Trebek probably has a lot more money than John Ratzenberger.
True.
And also, John Ratzenberger, he... was known for that useless trivia.
Yes.
He appeared in the episode on
He would be a phenomenal replacement host.
And his voice is great and iconic. Like, he has a look about him. He would be a great replacement.
And I'd love to hear him say to somebody, "What were you thinking?"
What were you thinking?
Yes.
What do you think about, what's his name? The guy that hosts Family Feud now.
Steve
Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And I think he does a good job.
I think he does a good job too. Here's the thing about that show. I think it has become a who can say the most dirty thing innocently show. And have Steve Harvey look at the camera and like
knowingly,
and
yeah.
Like he just he has this look about him, but it's almost like force. Like the people. They're not going over to play the game show. They're going on the show to see if they can make him make a face.
Yeah.
And they're just saying things that are vulgar. And the questions they ask...
lead you into those answers.
Yeah, it used to be before. It'd be like, what's the most popular fruit? And people would be like, bananas, apples. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
what's one thing you could find in the bathtub?
Well, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what's one thing on your husband you couldn't touch anymore? Or something like that. Like, what? And people aren't going to say, his feet, because he has athlete's foot. No, they're going to say something vulgar.
Yeah.
Things that you can say about your shoes, but not your significant other. These used to be tighter.
They're trashy.
I mean...
They're trashy, yeah.
That's the kind of things that they can say, and I think people, build that up. It's not about the game anymore. And so I feel in a way that that's more.
See, I'll always have kind of a soft spot in my heart for Family Feud. Because once again, it's one of those games where it's like, I feel like I would excel at this.
Yeah, I guess so. But here's the problem with that show for me. I don't like to rely on other people. And so,
that's fair.
I would rather be on Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, because even with Wheel of Fortune, even with Lady Luck needing to smile upon you, with every wheel spin, you have a better chance than letting Grandma Ethel answer the Family Feud question. Oh, I don't know. My favorite fruit, prunes. Like, shut up, Grandma. No, say strawberries.
You have to
oranges.
guess something that other people would guess, not you idiot. You old hag.
I don't know. Dates? What's a date? What kind of a fruit is that? Have you ever eaten a date? Is a date even a fruit?
Or like they could even go the other way. Like, what's your favorite fruit? I don't know. Liberace?
And scene. John, you tell me a game show now. What's a game show that you liked? Was there something that you grew up with? Something that you knew?
The one that always comes to mind for me is Price is Right.
Oh, yeah.
The Price is Right. I think that is like everybody. Like when you were homesick from school or whatever, you watched Price is Right.
Well, but here's the thing. I'm gonna challenge you because I'm gonna say that The Price is Right. That's not really a good answer.
It's kind of like a cop out.
Well, because it's not about The Price is Right. It's about what was your favorite games.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could watch 10 episodes of The Price is Right that were terrible because your game wasn't on it.
That's true.
But it also gave you a sort of anticipation because when your game finally hit 3 weeks after the last episode...
Well, and then you had those golden episodes where all 6 were the ones that you loved.
Oh, yeah. It was great. So what was your favorite game or games that you can remember?
I loved Mountain Climber.
I didn't care for Mountain Climber.
You just looked at me like you were super excited about that answer.
I am. I didn't care for Mountain Climber as a game. I thought it was a sucky game. I didn't think I would be good at the game, and I didn't think the game was fair. But boy, did I want to see that little guy climb. I waited for Mountain Climber with bated breath because I wanted to see the little guy climb the hill, and I actually wanted to see him fall over. But the game wasn't very good. So even the things about Wheel of Fortune, like even the, it's like...
It's the visuals.
Yeah, the visuals are great. Plinko was always a fan favorite because you wanted them to get in that center. You wanted to see it go down.
But I feel like Plinko is like a total game of chance.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not a lot of skill there.
No, it's not a lot of skill. But, so again, it wasn't a good game. It wasn't really that great of a game. But, it was a good game in the visual and the excitement and the way that people, when Plinko was announced, when they're like, and the game is Plinko, the crowd went wild. It was like a pandemonium. People loved it.
Yep.
And they added such little bits to it. Like, if you got within, $100, he gave you a $100 bill out of his pocket. What kind of a swank guy is he walking around with a pocket full of $100 bills?
No kidding, yeah.
He's
a classy guy.
What's classiest thing about Bob Barker?
His microphone.
I
Absolutely.
mean, the little
I did a little MC host duties one time, and I requested a Bob Barker microphone.
Did you get it?
I did.
Really?
It was fantastic.
Oh, and here's the thing about it. Even the years that he did it and how technology advanced, he never went wireless, did he? He always had the cord. He always wanted the cord.
Yes.
Ah, man.
Another game I really loved was Checkout, where you guess which one was cheaper. And you have to be within $2 at the end of it.
I like the Punch-Out one where they punch.
That's a good one.
Because it was satisfying seeing them punch through the little paper. Because you knew that somebody's job was to replace that paper. And I wanted job security for Americans.
And what's the one where you move it left or right if you think it's higher or lower than the price?
Oh, I don't remember the name. I don't remember a lot of bad games because I just totally disregarded them. I just get rid of them out of my mind, But oh man, it's a good show.
A Flip Flop is another good one where usually they pull out a car for that one, and you have to guess the price by moving around the different numbers, and Price is Right just has so many fantastic games, and there's other ones that were just they kind of sucked, but
yeah. So I'm going to mention a show that is not a game show. But the thing I remember about it was the game show element of it. The Bozo Super Show
Oh yes,
and the grand prize game,
the finale, yeah,
the finale,
yeah,
and it was little like red Solo cups.
Yeah, you had to like throw a ball
and
in
ping pong ball.
Yes,
and it was such a. I would never watch the Bozo Show. I would literally skip the last 5 minutes of anything else.
I would always catch the end of it.
Yeah, I would skip the last 5 minutes of Smurfs or Ninja Turtles or anything else because I'd probably already seen the episode, and I'd switch over to Bozo and watch the grand prize little ping pong game. I would watch and wait to see if they got it in the cup. And if you go back and watch those old clips, that is the one part of the show that you could tell that every actor who ever played the game hated their life. Like, every actor that ever played Bozo, that is the part of their life they hated the most. Because, like, the kid would walk over and he'd be like, he would throw the ball with this unenthusiastic little throw. And, like, literally, the first cup was you could reach into the cup. Because there was no rules that you couldn't touch it. The kid could literally put his hand in the cup and let the ball go. And the kid would miss it. And you could see Bozo was like, you're going to fail at everything you've ever done or ever do in the future. Like, you just could see the look of disgust.
You're gonna be Bozo the Clown someday.
You will one
might as
day
well just take my
be
nose.
In these size 35 shoes, because and the poor kids were like, and they're like, what did you win? A crayon, because honorable mention. Like here, and like it was so terrible because. If you lost on the first bucket, like it's like Peace on The Price is Right. A toaster comes up and they're like $1,000. Like, and Bob Barker, I'm sure, like doing the show so often, he was probably like, "What are you thinking?
What are you doing, and
Cliff? What are you doing?"
And that's the thing is, I would love to be a contestant on The Price is Right, just to be on like the what do they call it again at the front where you.
Oh, just the bottom.
Yeah. God, well, anyway,
I don't know.
I would love to be the person that is like somebody bids $1, $2, Bob, $2, Drew,
and
just to stick it to them.
That's a strategic thing. I do that with
because you can't go over, but you can go under.
I have no less than 1,000 times, and I'm not exaggerating, in life. Said Price is Right rules.
I have two. I have two as well.
It has to be lower without going over, highest number without going over, and I've also used the $1 increment tactic. You know, somebody bets and they're like, that office pool, that baby's gonna be 8 pounds 3 ounces, 8 pounds 4. Period. Because I have who's gonna be closer? Me.
Yes.
You know, as long as it's over, it's going to be closer.
And here's the thing. That has permeated our society to such a degree, permeated our culture to such a degree, nobody will challenge it.
No, absolutely not.
Price is Right rules is accepted at every level.
But then again, you also can define people by Price is Right rules because you're going to get the people in the office pool that are like 1 ounce. That is not a healthy baby. Don't
Why
bet
do
that?
you have to be a jerk?
Price is Right rules. 1 ounce. Well, shut up.
And if you're going to guess that, though, I mean, you want to know what the other guesses are first.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if somebody
2 ounces.
If there's another guess out there that's like 5 pounds 3 ounces. Yeah. You know what? You want to go 5 pounds 4 ounces.
You got the other guy that's just stupid. He's like 14 pounds. What?
That guy's just looking for attention.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's like that baby,
either that or he really hates the pregnant woman.
That baby is not going to be born at that point. It's just going to like the mother is shedding. It's just like it's full-formed human comes out. 35-year-old adult. Like just good grief. So game shows. Anyway, back to game shows.
Okay, so what are game shows that you just despise?
I think the game shows that don't do it for me are some of like the more romance related one. I like parodies and SNL skits and stuff about it, but like the Newlywed Game or I don't know if it was not the Newlywed Game, but the Match Game or things like that.
Yeah.
Where it'd be like Bachelor number 1.
Yeah.
If you were on an island, would you hit me across the face or give me a romantic dinner? Well, I don't know. I'd probably hit you. Like what? Like it was very just.
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of thing. Or even the marriage. Like
See, I liked Love Connection.
It didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I don't even remember much about it. The only thing I remember about it is that Chuck Woolery, right?
Yeah.
He was one of the smartest game show hosts ever because he would walk out, they would sit on the couch, and they would talk, and he was like one of the first or most consistent people to unbutton his button on his coat, which is what you should do when you sit down in a sports coat.
Yeah.
And he would do that consistently every time because he didn't want it to bunch. And that, for me, was one of the biggest fashion tips I ever got was from Chuck Woolery because I see somebody sit down right now and don't unbutton their top button, and I'm like,
go nuts.
You didn't watch The Love Connection, did you? You suck. Like, you don't know what you're supposed to do. That man set a fashion trend for the ages. He told you how you're supposed to do it.
Isn't that all we're looking for from our game show hosts?
Yeah, just some very specific life lessons.
Very specific.
There are some shows that I don't necessarily think were good, but I kind of liked them. Like Deal or No Deal. I kind of got a satisfaction.
Yeah, so did I.
But they weren't really great. They were campy. Oh, let me call the banker.
Yeah.
Like, what? Don't add this drama into it. And let's have 50 supermodels. Like, nah. Like, so they added those elements to it that were kind of cheesy, but it was a good game. And it felt the same.
The thing I didn't like about Deal or No Deal, I liked the concept of the game. I don't know if I liked Howie Mandel.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Howie Mandel.
I like Howie Mandel, but I don't know if I liked him as the host of that show.
Okay.
And one show that I think got way more credit than it deserved was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Really?
Because I feel like it blew up so fast that like it almost it was like Icarus. It flew too close to the sun.
Wow.
And then its wings melted.
What I loved about that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, is that it was, and hear me out, a better version of Jeopardy. Because it was more human. It was more at the skill level of what the average... It progressively got harder. Jeopardy, I feel like sometimes is for the uber intelligent. And you really need to know your stuff. And sometimes the questions are way over people's heads. Yeah. It was more of a grounded, everyday man kind of a Jeopardy. And like the first question, if you saw somebody lose on the first question, you're like...
Oh my Lord!
You're going to be bozo in a couple years. Yeah. You missed the first cup, little kid.
Yeah,
and that was about it. But most people got the first question. It was like even the multiple choice questions. It's like, what is 2 + 2? 4, blue, potato. Like it didn't even. It wasn't even. It was hard. You almost had to try to lose. But it progressively got harder. And I think people related because there was something they could play along with and actually feel challenged, but also get some right. Jeopardy, it's like, this 19th century equestrian poem, including bananas.
Yes,
like,
yes.
What?
Yeah, then you have to answer it in the form of a question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was almost too much. So I watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire more than I ever watched Jeopardy. And Jeopardy's iconic. The theme song's good. Alex Trebek is good. It's a great show. It's a little too genius.
Did you ever watch the show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
I saw a couple episodes.
Or first grader, whatever it was. The Jeff Foxworthy one. Fifth grader, yeah.
I
remember watching that show and I was like, I don't ever remember learning this.
Well, and that's the point of it. To make you feel as though the education system failed based on your experience. And sometimes that show succeeded in making me feel like, what are we teaching our children?
Yes.
What are we not teaching our children?
What didn't I learn?
I do in school that I should have been doing?
Was I asleep or gone this day?
Exactly. I might have been gone the whole time.
Did I miss fourth grade?
Fourth grade? Oh, yeah, smart.
Well, because I think they had fifth graders. They had like first grade math, second grade geography. There's like different levels.
Third grade science. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of those things, I think, because of the nature of the questions, it's almost like when you take the ACT or SAT or something, like you second guess yourself. It's like they always say, pick your first answer and kind of stick with it. I think a lot of people get wrapped up in that. Are there any shows that you hated?
I don't think there's any that I hated. I'm a fairly big fan of game shows in general.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask this question because I think are reality shows, reality competition shows, Hell's Kitchen and things like that. I mean, I don't see those.
I don't see those as a game show.
Really?
Because I don't think there's not an element of like gambling involved. Like I think to a certain to be like a game show, I think there has to need to be like a gambling element.
Okay, so it's
to a
not
certain
like
extent.
Hell's Kitchen, like I'm gonna double down on searing the scallops twice as long.
Exactly.
That,
there's not like a risk or a chance.
But for me, that's almost like the new version of the game show culture. And I love Hell's Kitchen. I used to watch Iron Chef and some of those things. Like, I
it's
think
more
it's
of
almost
a competition to me than it is a game show.
Yeah. But do you think that's the game show for the new generation? Do you think that they're going to know the Price is Rights and the... I would hope
they are. But, I mean, the thing about like game shows is that there's a right and a wrong answer most of the time. But on like shows like Hell's Kitchen and stuff, you have like a subjective judge.
Yeah, that is true. So there's judges that are choosing. Jeopardy has judges.
Well, they do, but I mean, there's a right and a wrong answer.
I know. There's a right and wrong answer,
and the judges just interpret someone's answer. And like, I guess if I'm like on Hell's Kitchen or something like that, Gordon Ramsay. I mean, maybe he's just not feeling blue cheese that night, and you put blue cheese on your dish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're really at the whim of that one guy as opposed to some objective measure. Like, Price is Right. Those are the prices in the supermarket.
That is true. But I will say this, and we could do a whole episode on this. I heart Gordon Ramsay, and he is fairly consistent. It's bloody raw. He doesn't like raw meat. I think that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't like garbage. He doesn't like trash food. He's consistent in his... John, I've got one thing to say to you. Because you seem to be, in some ways, naysaying Gordon Ramsay, and don't try to defend yourself. I'm going to say to you, because I love him so much and you hate him, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time on Pop Culture Problem.